In one of my other videos, I showed how I was able to get my inflatable paint booth into the bag that it came in. And I used a vacuum bag. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen the video, it's kind of short. But basically it shows me sucking it down into the mattress vacuum bag that I purchased from Amazon. And that's fine and dandy, but I don't plan on using this more than maybe once or twice a year. It's not something that I don't really want to get back into body work, but if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, Fez, can you paint my bumper, or can you work on my Jeep?" Or I want to do what I want to do, and I do want to paint my Volkswagen, which will be another series of videos because Pepe is in desperate need of a paint job, and I think I have enough materials left over to do it from my truck. I may have to buy like a quarter base coat and some clear. I have to buy a gallon of clear. So I needed a long-term storage solution for the inflatable spray booth, and I designed it. I did a materials list. I don't have it with me. I measured it out. It measures 46 by about 30 in its current state of just laying here on the floor. It was a real rough measurement. So I was going to build a 48 by 30 by like 24 or 28 inch box to put the spray booth in to protect it from the elements. I'm not going to store it outside, but I wanted to be able to protect it inside my storage shed from critters and dirt and moisture and all this shit that kills tents. So my original materials list was 2 sheets of 3/4 inch birch plywood, over 100 fasteners of varying sizes, caster wheels because I can't lift it. I have to roll it around, and all the aluminum to build the frame out of and then put the wood on it. If you've ever seen roadie cases, basically I was going to build a roadie case for it. So I wandered into Fazio's, but right when I got to the door, they had these really cool fiberglass cases. They're obviously some kind of military surplus that were almost the right size to just put the booth in. Now, I would have had to fold the booth a second time in the bag so to make it fit. I measured it out, and it just wasn't quite a practical size for that. It was almost perfect. And I know I had seen those cases over there before. I looked at plastic totes at Home Depot. They just weren't the correct, they were the correct volume, but they weren't the correct size. So I wandered into the back wall at Fazio's, and because I know they have these boxes. We're going to get to this box in a second here. So they're called job site boxes, and you put your tools in them when you're on a job site, and then you lift them up on a crane or you chain them to something to deter your average thief from stealing your shit. So I bought one. This box here I'm pretty sure it's made in China. It doesn't really matter to me. For $299. Now, okay, $299, $300 is pretty expensive. Now, the booth is $1,600 plus the blowers and everything. So I'm probably I'm going to say I'm close to $2,000 into this booth after buying all the different accoutrements that went with it, tarps and the extra blower, and I didn't buy extension cords, but I might in the future buy some real nice heavy-duty extension cords. So I just said, you know what, instead of wasting 2 days getting frustrated building a box and that I know wouldn't have turned out the way I wanted it to because I don't do it every day. I bought this box, and this box is really cool. It's other than being bright yellow, it's the exact size of the box that I was going to buy, and Fazio's just happened to have these inflatable rubber tired casters. Now these were $20 a piece. They also, the cool thing about Fazio's is you can go over there and buy one bolt, or you can go over there and buy 100, and the price difference is I don't want to say nominal, but if you go to Home Depot and buy a 25 5/16 by 1 inch bolts, it's going to cost you probably $15–20. If you buy 100 at Fazio's, it's like $10. I have to look at the receipt. Actually, you know what? I happen to have the receipt right here. Let's see here. Yeah, 100 of them was $16. So, you know, 100 for $16, I couldn't, actually, all of the hardware I bought. Now this is great. I should show the receipt, but it's got my credit card number on it, I think. All of this hardware, 100 nuts and bolts. I bought a can of weld-through primer that I like while I was there. I also bought a ball and hitch. The ball was $6. The pin was $2. I have a plan for that. I don't really need it, but I wanted it. So all of this hardware, 100 washers, 100 bolts, and 100 locking nylon insert lock nuts was $16. You can't buy that at your big box store for that price. Did I need 100? No, but now I have 100. So eventually they'll get used for something. They're 5/16, they come in pretty handy. And this is already pre-drilled on the bottom. It's got feet on it to put to bolt the casters on. I bought 4 swivelly casters, which I didn't necessarily want to do, but the more I thought about it, it would be better that way. It's a toss-up when you're dealing with casters. If you have 4 casters, whatever it is that it's on 4 casters independently moving has a tendency to kind of crab walk and go a little weird. The upside of that is it goes a little weird, so you can put it into weird spaces without having to do a 15,000 point turn like with a toolbox. So that was it. You know, I got out of Fazio's yesterday for $439. Now, the casters were $20 a piece. So there's $100 or 80. So $100 over and above, plus I bought the other few little things. So for $439 and a ride over to my favorite store, I now have the container that I really was just going to build. That should fit everything, and we're going to find that out. The first thing I'm going to do is put the casters on it, and then we're going to see if everything fits in there. My goal was to be able to fit all 3 blowers, the paint booth, all the tarps, and everything into this box, and then put this box in my shed. And hopefully that's the way it'll work out. In weight-wise, it's not that heavy. I actually got it out of the truck by myself. Now, we loaded it with a forklift. I did get it out by myself. I did bend one of the legs because the sheet metal for the legs isn't that great, but I can just bend it back with another hammer or a pair of pliers. So we're going to put Tiki down here, and then I'm going to put the casters on, and put air in the casters. Hopefully the tires will hold air. Fazio's is a surplus store, so occasionally, if you're not careful, you'll get a bum piece of stuff, something. It's like Harbor Freight on steroids, really. It's quite frankly, it's the most fascinating place I've ever been when it comes to materials and supplies. And I actually have another video where I sit down and pontificate the wonders of Fazio's. So let's put Tiki down here. Oh my goodness. And we're gonna, I'm gonna shoot some video of me putting the casters on and getting this thing ready to accept the booth. And hopefully everything will work out the way I need it to. So like I said, I have to do everything here myself. I don't have any help. So what I did was I laid a piece of plywood down on the floor. Forever how much I like to think I'm fastidious. At the end of the day, I'm really not completely 100% fastidious about things. But I did lay a piece of plywood down on the floor because I don't want to damage it too much right off the bat. Like I said, it's not crazy heavy. It definitely has some weight to it. So this is the damage that I caused when I flipped it. I kind of dropped it out of the truck yesterday. I was a little pissed. I put a dent in my truck, which was my fault. I own it. But it is kind of a sign that it isn't the greatest quality piece. NAC, which is the other company that makes these, their boxes, this was $299. This size in a NAC, which is made out of heavier material, it was like $800. I wasn't going to go 800, but I would go 300. So I bought these casters. Now these casters don't have wheels, or they don't have air in the tires. The downfall of the packaging at Fazio's is they're not sealable bags, so I'm going to have to put these in a put them in another container. I've got in this cabinet here. I've got like pick a nut bins, and that's where these will go. Now I only needed 16. I bought 100. It's quite frankly, it's just the way I do things, especially when I'm over there. For me, it makes no sense to not buy in bulk. My wife gets mad at me because I do that, but when it comes to hardware and things, I just buy it, and because hardware is one of those weird items that every job requires it. Every job. Particular casters is they're actually clocked. The holes were clocked more properly for these. The swivel casters, the fixed casters, the whole orientation wasn't proper. Now I could have hogged the holes out, or I just bought the spinny. I just want to show real quick here, the fixed casters we're going to say, for the sake of argument, fixed this way. All right. Now this is if you put the fixed caster on, it only wanted to go in this direction, but this isn't the correct direction. This is forward and aft, not left and right. So I decided to go with the swivelly caster. Ow, fucker. Yeah, that's gonna leave a blister. The other reason, the other upside of using these casters is the mounting point, or the mounting plate orientation, isn't super critical. used an extension for that. Yeah, that's gonna leave a mark. Poor Tiki doesn't like this at all. She's a trooper though. All right. Hey, no valve stem on that one. And that one has a valve stem, but it looks like a mouse got to it. Let's put some air in these tires and see what happens. This could get exciting. These little wheels don't like real high pressure air. These have tubes in them, I should add. Huh, 30 PSI. Whoa, holy smokes. Tube tires are a pain in the ass. I may have to use a different. We'll see how long they stay inflated. It could be interesting. Oh yes, and this little teeny tiny tire leaned up against my gut like that was a really bad idea because it very well could have exploded and flung something into my beer belly. Yeah, this one's empty too. Not for highway use. Oh, well. These are these are 8-inch casters by 2. Well, it's up on its wheels. It's a little higher than I thought it was going to be, but I should have known better because, I mean, I'm adding 12 inches of height to something that's already 28 inches plus tall. I really wish I hadn't tried to take the sticker off, but it is what it is. Let's pry this off. I'll get to that in a minute. So, now what the hell? Let's see what's going to happen here. Yeah, we're gonna have to do something with that, I think. Just for shits and giggles. Let's see if it'll fit. Well, it kind of fits, and that's basically kind of how I expected it to go. I don't want to, but it fits. It fits. It fits. It fits. It fits in the box. It actually fits in the box relatively nicely. Like I said, it's still in its bag. I don't want to jam it in. But I've got all this other shit I got to put in here too. So maybe we'll just give it a little shove. And see if this big blower fits. Well, the blower fits. That blower fits. This wee little blower fits. Well, that's about half of what I need to put in here. This tarp. Let's see if the lid will close with not too much effort. Ah! Yeah, well, it fits kind of.